I just want to call out the condition of the country for businesses. It is not fun. Loads of people that I know are obviously leaving the country, and there's loads of articles about it, about people leaving the country. But my business partner left recently. He's moved to Cyprus so that he can save loads of tax. And every month we turn over good money and make profit, and I lose 40% of it to the government. It does really piss me off, especially when the country's freezing, the roads are broken, everyone looks miserable, and a sandwich costs £6. It is broken. The country's broken. However, let's just go right back to basics and understand exactly what the pressures are that businesses are under. So, first of all, wages are crazy, right? Wages are crazy because there's inflation and people need to be able to live. So the minimum wage increasing does make it difficult. Now, businesses are already considering using AI. And then on the flip side, everyone's like, oh, you can't get rid of jobs because, think about the people. But if I'm looking at paying 27, 28 grand a year for what is basically a very simple admin job that AI can do, there's a point where I stop wanting to be a good person and look after everybody because I'm such a nice guy and I want to feel like that. And start thinking about making it work for everybody else and making sure we can actually cover costs for people that are really putting in a lot of time and a lot of effort into the business. So the minimum wage is already really high. Now, in terms of taxation, which is the big one, we pay an awful lot of tax, right? So your sell services has got VAT on it, right? So for most big businesses, it doesn't matter, you claim it, you swallow it, whatever, get out the door. Financial services, I've got a business in financial services, you can't claim VAT because you can't charge it. So they've got to swallow 25% or whatever it's 20%. Miserable, right? That's horrible. Now, that already makes buying services really expensive. Then when you finally sell something and you make some profit after your exorbitant, massive bloody staff bill, you then got to pay 25% corp tax. So 25%, is a quarter of the tax, a quarter of the profit, straight away out the door. I've got no idea where it's gone. Labour are going to waste the money pretty much, and that's great, which is one thing. Then, if I want to draw some of that money down to actually, God forbid, live off it, I'm going to pay dividends up to 33.8%. I think it's more now, whatever it is. It's 38, maybe 39% is the top rate. So that's like another 40% gone. And if they bring that up in line with income tax, that'd be 45%, maybe 50%. So you're losing 25, then out of the 75%, you're going to lose 40% of that 100. So you're down to like less than half the money. Then if I want to buy a house, I'm going to get taxed again. Or if I want to invest it, I'll get taxed on the gains. Or if I want to leave it for my kids, you're going to get inheritance taxed. Or if I buy something and I make a gain on it, you're going to get taxed. Invest it in whatever, that goes up, taxed again. It's absolutely horrendous. So I can understand why everybody's leaving the country. However, for me personally, it's not an option. I've got an older grandma. She's in a care home. I can't leave. I could never cope with that morally, or I think my family give me loads of grief, and I'd miss her, right? So I can't leave. I've got an older daughter from a previous relationship. She's 15, nearly 16, but again, I don't want her to feel like I'm abandoning her, right? So that's just not even an option. And then finally, you really think about the process of going through it. So you have to make sure that you sever ties with the UK. In order to do it, you've got to just get rid of everything. So I've got property here. I've got 3 other children that go to school here. I've got a family, very, very small family. I see the kids an awful lot. So again, for me, it's not even practical because my small family is so interconnected with the kids. It just wouldn't be fair to do it. But again, the pain of the tax is really, really high. So it's not possible for me, but I understand why everybody is wanting to do it. And, part of me, I am jealous that they're able to go free and all the rest of it. Now, there are obviously implications. The countries, they're not as nice. Cyprus is obviously a bit of a dusty rock, but it's very cheap. The food's good. People are happy. So there's benefits. There's kind of cultures that aren't quite right. Loads of people want to come here. Me going somewhere else, the culture isn't quite the same. England's obviously a beautiful place, and a lot of the people in the UK are really nice to be around. But as a business, it's very, very difficult to make it work. And we've got the budget coming up in the next week or so. I'm really, really anxious that it's going to clobber us even more. And even if it doesn't come after businesses this time around, because they've already rinsed us in the last one, if they come for middle earners, all that's going to happen is this: I'd like a pay rise, please. I need another £200 a month. because this has happened and this has gone up and I'm paying more tax. And then, to retain the right people, you're going to have to look at it for them. And unless they've had one recently, you're going to have to increase it to pay. But I don't want to then go and increase the cost to customers. I want to crank up our prices for 20%. We've not put our prices up for 3 years. We went from earning quite a lot of money and decent margins to much smaller margins. But as a business, we don't want to burn the relationships with other people. We don't want to make it unobtainable. So we're just swallowing it. Our margins are getting tighter and tighter. It's really, really hard. So yeah, not looking forward to the budget. Hopefully it's not as awful as everyone's panicking. Hopefully they're just seeding horrible ideas into the press. So everyone panics. And then when a more modest version comes out, everyone's like, oh, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. And they just suck it up and cope with it, right? That's what I'm hoping. But if I was a single man, I'd live the digital nomad lifestyle. I wouldn't be in the UK. I'd be leaving, probably go to Asia, travel around a bit and save some cash up, then put down roots in a country that I like. And, for me, it's not possible. But for the rest of us who can't leave the country, please don't ruin it.